Okay, this is day 15 of the Peak21 challenge. And so going through the list first before I talk about the group calls, which were pretty successful. Starting off with number one, Hydrate. This one was the easiest to do for today because it's just literally fill in the flasks, and I've been able to keep on top of that so far. Fortunately, with the gym, again, because the back pain's getting a lot better, but today was really packed in terms of the group calls, so I didn't really have a chance to hit the gym today. I'll probably try and do that tomorrow. Um, okay, then for stop the snooze, really early start today. 4 a.m. was the first group call, and so I'm really running on fumes here because I only had in total 4 hours sleep before the start of the day. But honestly, I've been able to squeeze in naps in between. But tonight, I'm definitely going to have a good night's sleep. So for network, today I had a total of 5 group calls, ranging from the topic of first call being business and technology, second call being mental health, third call being fitness and nutrition, uh, fourth call being content creation and music, and fifth call being to do with nerd culture and D&D, which is something more for my personal reasons, which I'll explain later on. As for the first call, which was the business and technology, in total, 5 people were in the room, including myself. So that's Lily, Trek, we had Patrick, um, Calvin, and also Jasmine, who joined us later on. And yeah, a lot of very interesting people who Calvin has his own tech idea that he shared with the group, and I think him and Trek are going to move forward with networking to see if they could build something together for a business opportunity. Jasmine and also Patrick were curious about possible side hustle ideas because they want to kind of supplement their income and kind of make money online. With Jasmine, she's really new to the game, so she was able to take on a lot of advice from everyone in the chat. Um, for Trek and Lily, they've had experience of entrepreneurship when at the beginning of their career, sorry. And so it was really interesting how they kind of shared the ideas. Um, some successes, some failures, but ultimately the overall consensus was, yeah, when it comes to doing entrepreneurship, um, you want to um, you want to have like temporary expectations. Obviously, there is chance for success, but it won't come easy, and usually failure may come across, but that doesn't mean that's the end of the idea. You just need to overcome it. One of the phrases um, that really resonates with me was Trek's, "You've got to fail fast while the cost is low," and I do really um, agree with that, and it's something that I'm trying to keep in mind as I move forward with my own ideas. Then going on to the mental health call, this was attended by myself, Yusuke, Jasmine, and Hannah, as well as Trek as well. And so for Yusuke and Hannah, I think they're going to connect up after the call because they're both based in Australia. Hannah kind of gave some very interesting insights into her beliefs. So she sees spirituality as a way of seeking out truth, and in her case, she follows the writings of the selfish gene and how our body reacts to what we input into it. So she's very much in touch with how she feeds her body and kind of the effects of that as well. And she does have kind of experience with having bad reactions to certain chemicals within our foods and within our creams. And she's since gone a long way to kind of remedy her reactions. And it's related to her interest into nutrition and yeah, she also tends to talk after, which she goes into more detail. As for going back to the mental health aspect, Yusuke started the conversation regarding prayer and religion into how we kind of how it contributes to mental health, and that kind of started a chain of conversations with Jasmine having um, been grown up with Christianity, having lost it as she grew older, but kind of trying to reconnect with it in her adult life. And with Trek, he's like again taking a methodical approach, having read the scriptures like the Bible and even the Quran. First time reading through was a bit more matter of fact, whereas the second time he's able to, or he was able to like gain meaning from it. And in his words, there these stories that have lasted centuries shouldn't be really taken at face value, but rather there's a meaning behind the story, or there is like a true value behind the story that he's been able to recognize. And yeah, he's kind of has very interesting perceptions towards spirituality and religion. One being that his concept of God isn't just a being, but rather he is reality. And so anything that happens to us is kind of face steeped into the fact that God is reality. So if we feel like that God is punishing us, that's just the reality that we live through. And it is quite a refreshing idea. And I'm very glad that he shared his perception on that. But yeah, everyone in the chat was very open and also very supportive regarding our mental health issues and how we use some form of spirituality to overcome what the things we're going through. Um, for the third topic, that was fitness and nutrition. This was attended by Hannah and Jasmine, and this is when Hannah really goes into how she views nutrition and how she is um, able to like use her cooking to have good benefits to her body, and she's been able to experiment with things that react well and don't react well to her. And she even references some pretty interesting concepts in our discussions. Um, those concepts, the first one being um, Ashtanga and Ayurveda, which is some a kind of logic or science in our foods. And so this exists with all cultures. So like our local herbs are kind of used for home remedies, but now in the modern age, we're kind of defaulting to modern medicine, and we've kind of lost touch of these ideas since. But it's great to know that she is kind of rediscovering this. Same is true with Jasmine, who is relying on her family's cookbook in order to maintain a healthy diet, and she seems to have gone made major improvements in her personal diet by just doing home cooking and avoiding pre-made meals. Moving on to the next topic, which is all to do with content creation and music. This was attended by just this this was attended by uh, was is Kirill. Sorry, Kirill. Yeah, this was explained by Kirill, who's calling from Mumbai, and yeah, we had a really full conversation on a lot of matters, and the fact that it was just him, we could really go into detail in the way he thinks and his aspirations for the future. So Kirill, he has kind of a background in music and has aspirations for um, using both Instagram and even YouTube to create an online following, both to promote his business as a guitar teacher, but also to like expand his potential either as an influencer or as a musician. And we talked about whether we were interested in moving on to Metamorphosis and our thoughts on Peak21. And yeah, we are really grateful for the community that we were able to cultivate and build in Peak21, which allows both himself and myself to meet with people that would help us with our goals. And so yeah, with Kirill, I wish him all the best, and I kind of pushed him in the direction to a video editor um, by the name of Sean in Peak21, who might be able to help him along his way. Then moving on to the final call of the day, it was to do with nerd culture and Dungeons and Dragons, and this is kind of where my focus and my business idea came into the spotlight, and we were able to kind of brainstorm quite a lot of ideas. That being, I want to develop some sort of D&D inspired uh, lesson format in order to promote immersive input for Japanese students. And this was attended by both Calvin and Bryce, and both of them gave very valuable input and were very supportive in like me getting into Dungeons and Dragons, offering information of the business background and also of how to get started with the game. There was also a moment where Calvin kind of gave us, myself and Bryce, a short like role play in the form of what a game master would do in Dungeons and Dragons, and it helped me really visualize what kind of game I would like to develop moving forward in order for my potential students in Japan. So that was very much gold for me. Like I think I took so many notes on these conversations, and I learned a lot, not only about everyone, but things and lessons that I can apply to myself. So I'm really happy that the not business call, the group conversations went the way they did. A lot of value that I gained from it, and hopefully for the other members as well. Um, okay, now moving on to the rest of the challenges for the day. When it came to um, spending, not much spent because I was again spent most of the day indoors doing the group calls. For mental clarity, yep, I was able to get that done between the first and second call. There was like a 2 hour time period where I was able to, sorry to say, snooze a little bit, but I think that was necessary regarding I only had 4 hours sleep, but also kind of get my mindset in the correct place in order to survive the group calls. For cut out and remove the noise, again, didn't have a chance to really to spend time on the internet because it was just calls after call for today. For cardio, unfortunately, I didn't do cardio because again, I didn't hit the gym due to being very busy. But again, my back is healing, so I might be able to continue from scratch tomorrow. For vocab, yeah, we were all very supportive on the call, and we kind of shared our thoughts on this particular challenge with that. And especially for Jasmine, she was able to make a good headway when it comes to this challenge. For first hour of the day, I don't really think it applies to me because it was quite a weird sleep schedule that I had today. For embracing radical honesty, again, I think people were very open, especially in the conversation about spirituality. A lot of radical honesty and kind of a lot of almost debate about how we perceive certain things when in relation to spirituality. For day 14's challenge, which is to express appreciation, this was definitely done after the group chat, group calls. I got a lot of thank you messages from Peak21, and I also was able to thank all the attendees as well as people who like try to attend those calls themselves. I understand that due to time differences, there were some people who unfortunately missed the calls, but hopefully I'll be able to develop another group session before the end of the Peak21 challenge, and yeah, we can get them on a call in the future. So a lot said, but today was a very valuable day for me, and I've made so many notes, both to do with my my efforts moving forward with my business idea, as well as other avenues which I might want to pursue in the near future. But yeah, like reflecting on everything, I definitely think that I've changed both mentally and as a person through this challenge in a positive way. So I'm really happy with not only myself but everyone that I've met so far. and I feel like I've made some really meaningful relations, which I definitely want to maintain till after the Peak 21 challenge. So yeah, that's all from me, and I'll see you tomorrow.